Dave, we know how this ends. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
It will end with Zac Lomax in Melbourne and Parramatta getting a wad of cash for him.
Yeah. We're going over to New Zealand. State of origin in 2027. The suggestion is that this game's going to be kicking off at 9:30. Ludicrous.
Don't whinge about it, right? 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever. Just turn up. You know what? Give them a rest. Give them a weekend off. You have to.
Oh, now
Some
you're robbing the
clubs can't
game.
do that. Competition is getting closer and closer every year.
Mate, the
You can't
easiest
expect
decision.
that.
Easiest
Mate, you should
decision.
be happy the Tigers won't have anyone there. Maybe Jerome.
Welcome to the Kade NRL show. As always, Dave Riccio with Brent Reid. You on debut?
Yeah,
For
first time this year,
2026.
back
Welcome
from holidays.
back.
Pumped.
Welcome back. Great. Tyson Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, is back. The mailbag is dead set overflowing, fellas, and largely it's about Zac Lomax. Now, as far as we're concerned, and I can cut straight through it, about 85% of the comments coming through and the letters and the emails that you guys have sent, 85% are with Para on this one.
It's not a
Stay the course, blue and gold.
It's not a surprise, Dave.
No.
I mean, firstly, you're talking about Zac Lomax. He's a bit of a polarising figure, has been for a while now. You know, he left St George when he was under contract. Obviously spoke to Rugby Union. That's come out this week that he had signed a pre-contract with R360. And you talk about the Melbourne Storm, who are one of those vilified clubs in the comp. I mean, they're not a popular football club outside Melbourne. So that doesn't surprise me, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's only 85%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Dice, come on.
Look, there's parts of me that feel sorry for Parramatta fans, and like you guys said, I understand the 85% people saying that Zac Lomax shouldn't play, shouldn't be allowed to play, but I find it really difficult to understand why all of a sudden we're taking these situations to court. This has been happening for years in rugby league. It literally happens every year in rugby league, multiple times a year. Now all of a sudden it's becoming a court matter.
Hang on. He signed a contract, and I'm reflecting the viewer's point of view here. A deal is a deal. He made his bed. Now lie in it. No two-tier contracts. Why should a star be allowed to break rules that a bench player can't?
That's life. Blokes always get treated differently. Stars always get treated. That's the world we live in.
It's been happening for years. Like this isn't new. This literally isn't. The Tigers went through something similar with Lockie Galvin last year. And mind you, just all the Parramatta fans that are saying this is ridiculous and contracts shouldn't be broken, when it looked like Galvin was coming to Parramatta, they were all for it. They were all for Galvin breaking his contract with the Tigers to go to Parramatta. So why is Zac any different? At the end of the day, what the situation with Zac, it's not great, right? He wanted to leave the club, but should we be stamping out a player completely from playing because he wasn't happy somewhere, because something didn't work out? Like, he made a mistake at the end of the day.
The key, boys, you've missed the key point here. The key point is this. In the release terms, Parramatta said, if R360 doesn't eventuate, we will have a say, or at least get some...
Yeah, but no one's saying...
Get some...
no one's saying Parramatta shouldn't get anything.
Yeah.
That Zac should walk for nothing, right? No one's saying Parramatta shouldn't walk away from this with something. And the Storm have offered 200 grand, they've offered 300 grand. Parramatta have said that's not enough. And
which is fair enough.
Well, you can take that view, right?
Yeah.
And plenty of people agree with you. At some point, though, they're going to reach a figure, right, where it has to happen.
Yeah.
We all know how this can end.
So
Dave.
Melbourne needs to chip up more.
This can end with Zac Lomax in Melbourne, and Parramatta will walk away with a fee, a compensation fee.
Depends how much Storm want him.
The NRL want it to happen. Do you really want to pick a fight with the NRL? Like, part of the reason I believe that's gone to court is because the NRL and Peter V'landys were ready to intervene in this.
Yes.
And by going to court, it stopped them. They can't intervene. The court will decide the fate of Zac Lomax. But we all know how this stuff ends.
Well, do you feel as though the Eels have now picked a fight with the NRL?
Well, clearly they have. You don't think they have? I think they have. I'm not sure.
I think Parramatta have every right to stand on their digs.
They do. But there's a price to pay for doing that. And the price is that you ruffle some feathers at rugby league headquarters.
What do you reckon the NRL are going to stiff the Eels in some way?
No, as I said, the Eels will walk away with something, Dave.
Yeah, they should.
Dave, we know how this ends. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
It will end with Zac Lomax in Melbourne and Parramatta getting a wad of cash for him.
Yep.
That's how it will end.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned if it doesn't. Whether he plays in round one, that's a different issue. I don't think he'll play in round one. because I don't think, I think if I'm Parramatta...
Well, I don't think he should. We said this
if
last
I'm
week.
Parramatta, I'm putting a clause in the release or the agreement to go to
He shouldn't be allowed
Melbourne.
to beat us.
You don't play him round one,
Yeah.
right? And Melbourne, I imagine they want him to play him round one if it happens. But if it means the difference between getting Zac and not having Zac, then you cop that.
Yep.
But I think he'll be at Melbourne by round 2.
Hey, fellas, I say this every week, but seriously, this is out of control, right? Actually, Reedy, Tosh, you got $1 on you? Have you got $1 on you?
Hold on, what's that? What's up on your ear? Oh, wow.
It's the magician.
It's $1, baby.
He's multi-talented. $1.
Magic.
Read, man, you can now go get a Code Sports subscription
For $1?
for 1 month,
Get
$1.
out.
You get it all, video,
That's ridiculous.
behind the scenes at training, the latest features, all the exclusive and breaking news.
For $1.
$1 for the first month's subscription. Hey, fellas, looks like we're heading over the Dutch.
For some fish and chops.
Yeah, we're going over to New Zealand. State of origin in 2027. Look, it's yet to be rubber stamped, but all roads lead to Eden Park. As I said, game 2 in 2027. The key for me here, fellas, is when are they going to play this game? Now, for decades now, Kiwi fans, I'm with you. I've got you in my heart all the time, Kiwis fans.
Well, you are Team Warriors.
I'm Team Warriors
Yeah, you are.
because
You have been for a long time.
they've been watching Origin at 11 o'clock at night, right? It's ridiculous. And for what this, where the game needs to go in this country for the growth of rugby league, it's exponential. Like we've still got so much more to go there. And the suggestion is that this game is going to be kicking off at 9:30 at Eden Park at night. So it's 7:30 back here on the eastern seaboard. Ludicrous. I don't like it. And it's a Sunday afternoon. That's where you'll find State of Origin would work. Afternoon, dry track, fast footy, the best. Look at you. Look at him.
Dave.
What?
We've been down this track with Sunday Origin.
Yeah, right.
And we went back to Wednesday. What's the problem? If you want Origin...
We've never played
if
Origin
the
in New
Kiwis
Zealand.
want Origin...
We're in a different time zone.
Don't whinge. Don't whinge about it, right? 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever. Just turn up. Just turn up and watch it. It's one of the greatest spectacles on earth.
It's a kick in the guts.
You know what this says to me, Dave?
It's a kick
You know
in
what
the
this
gut.
says to me? New South Welshmen, you're whinging about the kick-off time.
This bloke. seriously,
Queenslanders,
Tyson.
we just get on.
top.
And that's why we get Origin, Dave.
Yeah.
Again, this screams out to me, a New South Welshman who doesn't get Origin.
Yeah, sure.
It's not about the time.
What was the latest time you've ever played a game of footy, Reedy?
Me?
What was the latest time you've ever played a game of footy?
Round ball
You're talking
game.
about soccer.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
soccer.
The round ball game.
Oh, maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah, and what did you?
I was outstanding too.
You were
outstanding.
What was that in? Was that in the social league?
There was over 45, so most of the blokes I was playing against they were half asleep that time of night.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
for these players to go over to New Zealand and play at 9:30 p.m.
Oh
that
my
is,
God.
it is ridiculous.
Again-
Whether you're a New South
So-
Welshman or a Queenslander.
So what do you think the clubs are going to say when these blokes are finishing at midnight, getting off the field at Eden Park at midnight?
What's the
Well,
problem?
mate,
I don't get it.
there'll be
What's the-
drama.
I don't get the issue with
There'll be drama.
the timing.
Hang on a sec. They've got to get back
Let's
to
fly
play.
back the next day.
Yeah, but they've finished a game at midnight. Right?
You know what? Give them a rest. Give them a weekend off. You have to.
Oh, now
Some
you're robbing the
clubs can't
game.
do that. Some
Every
clubs
cl-
can't do
every
that.
Now you're
club
robbing
can
the
do that.
NRL.
No, because
Every club can do that.
The competition,
You've got to make a decision.
the competition is getting closer and closer every year.
Mate, the
You can't
easiest
expect
decision.
that.
Easiest
Mate, you should
decision.
be happy the Tigers won't have anyone there. Maybe Jerome. You should be pumped about this.
Mate, I'm thinking
Sorry,
of
maybe Jerome.
the better of the game. The better of the game. What about we look at New Zealand fans? They want this game there. What is it? A 7-year-old kid that wants to go see his first Origin game has to stay up until midnight to see the end. What if it's a 1-point decision? He'll be asleep in his freaking chair.
Yeah.
Well, he'd love it. How good's that? You when you were 7 years
He'll
old.
be
You
asleep.
used to love staying up late.
He'll
didn't
be
you?
asleep.
When you were a kid.
Oh,
Fair
kid.
income. I think New Zealand rugby league supporters should be just on their knees thanking Peter
Sunday
Boyd for taking
afternoon.
rugby league there. Don't whinge.
Sunday afternoon works, and you know it does. It's in the middle of winter. It's a chance of a drier surface. It's a time zone that suits both Australia and New Zealand. And also the turnaround time from playing Origin to then back up for their NRL clubs,
get on with
it absolutely works.
Forget about the time slot, right? Are you happy with the Origin going to New Zealand? I like it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great for the game. It's great for the game. But it has to fit in. It can't just chuck it on at midnight one night. Like that doesn't work for me.
Well, it might work for you, but it
I'll
works
tell
for
you
the
this.
game. They're paying a lot of money to get that game.
I tell you this: going to New Zealand is better than going to Adelaide.
You're not a fan of the city of churches?
Well, what's our growth of rugby league in Adelaide?
The Adelaide Rams.
You with
Come
me?
back.
Bring them back.
Bring them
national.
back.
Honestly, where the game wants to go in New Zealand compared to where the game wants to go in South Australia.
You've been across the New Zealand game more than anyone, Dave. I mean, rugby league's exploded over there. What do you think Origin will do to rugby league over there?
Oh,
Billy will be there, mate. Billy we trust.
do it right. You can't do a half-baked introduction to the people of New Zealand of what is state of origin. And it kicking off at 9:30, and we all know that'll be 10 o'clock.
I can guarantee
Right.
you one thing, Dave. Regardless of the time, Billy will have the boys ready to go. Okay?
So what's the excuse
talking
going to be
about
when you guys
22.
lose that game?
Mate,
What's
is
the
that-
excuse going to be when you lose
where's
that
the
game?
shield again? Just remind me.
Has,
Where's the shield?
Has Billy extended his contract? Is there
I don't
any
think he has,
guarantee he is there in
Oh,
27?
Billy will be there, mate. Billy we trust.
Hey, the rule changes are in, boys, for this 2026 season. It's really interesting because all the talk and suggestion prior to yesterday was that we were about to see a big change in the kickoff.
Yeah.
And I think credit to the NRL here, they took the feedback on board as far as the clubs and the coaches are concerned and haven't changed it. We're staying with the same kickoff model of what we've always known. That's the biggest talking point to come out of the rule changes.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they did rethink that because, yeah, like the whole losing team decides what the fate is of the next play. That they talk about speeding the game up, but if you have to stand there and make a decision whether you want to kick or receive, like it should have either been a blanket, yeah, losing team receives the ball, or keep it the same like they have. So I'm really glad that that's changed, and I don't think the losing team should receive the ball. If you get a try scored against you, you should not be, penalised for that. You should be able to keep that momentum going. There's so much we can control in rugby league, and for some of these rules, like the kickoff rule, it seemed like the NRL was trying to take the game out of the players' hands.
This was trialled in the Super League era,
Yeah.
and it didn't float.
I'm neither here nor there on it, to be honest. I'm not sure whether it would have been used that much. I'm glad they're going to trial it at the end of the season. I think a meaningless game, right? So, I think you need to give it a run out in actual competition just to see whether it's worth doing. So I'm happy they've decided to do that. I mean, the only drama. There's been a bit of feedback from the players' union saying this has all happened so late in the pre-season. It takes time, the NRL's got to speak to so many people about these rule changes. They've got to talk to clubs, got to talk to the players' union. It can't just happen. And this is the Christmas period, the off-season. The off-season's so short now.
Yeah.
Season runs so long. I mean, you had obviously international footy at the end of last year. You have the Christmas period. It's really difficult because it's such a restrictive period, time frame for the NRL to make these decisions and consult enough people. So,
it's one of those things when, and I hear you, like there have been coaches upset about the timing of this. However, if we actually look back at the history of Peter Volandi's reign, as far as ARL chairman is concerned, and look at all the changes that have been made, we don't remember when the changes were made.
No.
We look at the impact of the changes.
Yeah.
And 6 again's a great example where we don't recall when that was brought in. It didn't really matter. It doesn't really matter now.
I'm sure there was controversy when that was brought in.
100% there
remember,
was.
but
Absolutely there was.
I like the extended benches though, Dave.
I disagree.
You don't like it?
No.
Why?
Because it just, again, like it takes factors out of the game. Like you can't control everything. It just seems like we're trying to control every single aspect in case someone goes down. Adversity, like the great Alex Volkanovski, who just fought in the UFC, said, adversity is a privilege. It takes away moments, right? Where you get.
I'm going to write. Hold on. What was that one? Adversity is a privilege. I'm going to write that down.
Privilege.
Alex,
Adversity
Volk.
is a privilege.
Shout out to the Volk. But you get these moments, right, where there's an injury happens and someone has to come on in a spot where they're not too familiar with it. They might win you the game. They could lose you the game, but they're the storylines in rugby league you remember. Having a 6-man bench, I said yesterday, which got a bit of flack, that the utility role, it doesn't completely become redundant, but they lose that spark that makes them so special that they can fit in. What happens? You lose a center at the start of the game. You're carrying an outside back as your 6th bench member. He goes on. Then what? One of those other players now that you might have been intending to play, it might have been your utility. Yeah. You might not use. Like Connor
Well, it's
Watson's
life.
impact. Connor Watson's impact when he comes on the field.
Yeah, but Connor Watson's not going to be lost to the game because of this, Tice.
No, but just in general,
Tyrone Wishart's not going to be lost to the game because of this.
they might not get onto the field though.
They'll-
These early,
You reckon
if
Connor
there's-
Watson won't be
if
used
there's
by
an
the
early,
Roosters?
well, he can play lock, right? But there's other players. There's early injuries that happen. If it's an outside back, someone's going to miss out. It could potentially change the whole structure of the game.
I like it because I think too often we see, particularly in this era of concussion, head knocks, you see sides disadvantaged because they lose a player early in a game because of a head knock, and it just has a massive impact. And I think it'll reduce the impact of that stuff. And I understand what you're saying, that perhaps the utility, the true utilities in our game maybe won't be as valuable, but the really good ones will be. The Connor Watsons will retain their value. The Tyrone Wishart, we just seen him go to Perth. He's going to go there on a big deal. And he won't be a utility next year. He'll be a starting player in Perth. Those guys will still be valuable.
But what about if you have 3 Sunday games in a row? You have to carry a bench of 6. Most reserve grade games are played on a Saturday.
Yep.
There could be 2 blokes in those teams that don't play a game for 3 weeks.
They'll rotate them. They'll give them.
Are you
40.
going
There is a chance of
to
that.
take them
I
out?
don't think
You're
there will
going
be
to
a
take
chance
them
of
out
that.
for a lesser player, just so they can play like.
Well, if they're just there as like on an extended bench,
But how do you prepare for
Okay,
that?
I'm going to tell you something this year. We'll monitor the bench, and I guarantee you there will not be a single bloke in any club that goes 3 weeks without playing football. And if there is, I'm going to publicly on air apologise to you, Tyson.
I want a bit more than that.
I wouldn't be.
What else do you want? Hold on, what else do you want, buddy? Hold on. I'm not going
Maybe
to hell.
You're out for coffee
Dave?
You're out for
You
coffee
sort
for
this
3
out?
weeks.
Your
You're out for coffee
list
for
of
3
public
weeks.
apologies last year went way too long. Let's see how it unfolds. Boys, February 5, and guess what? Footy is back, baby.
Ooh,
Yes,
yes.
it's back. It's back. With the trial matches. Now, it's just the 4 Vegas teams doing their pre-season trials. Doubleheader at Cogra's Jubilee Oval on Saturday, 5:30, 7:30. Keen to watch this live on Fox League, KO. It's all there. We'll have it covered on Code Sports. But I think this is a really good opportunity to take a look at these 4 teams. Granted, there's only a sprinkling of NRL talent, largely the forward packs. Talking to the 4 coaches involved, it really is the big boppers. They need to get the engines going.
Yep.
But there is a fair bit of young talent coming through. Tice, you always keep an eye on the younger brigade coming through. Anyone you want to see?
Yeah. I got to be a little bit biased. The Bulldogs carrying Jack Underhill. I did a bit of training with Jack a couple of years ago, and
You tell him up or?
no,
Yeah.
Jack's the reason why I'm sitting in this chair right now. He's a gun player and a player that just he lives and breathes for that Bulldogs, that club, and he's been there through the juniors and coming through. I think he's in jersey 18 this week, but he's a step away from the NRL. He's a good hard worker player. He's got a bit of size to him now. The initial knock on him was he wasn't a real big middle, right? But he's trained hard the last couple of years. He's got himself into good shape. He'll be very good for the Bulldogs. Tay Cochrane at the back as well. We've spoken about the Bulldogs' fullback problems. They just seem to be missing that little bit of spark. Connor Tracy, always reliable, but Tay's got this X factor about him, which we could see. He's quite a small figure, but if he can get going in this trial, we could see him with a few NRL games under his belt, and potentially it changes the landscape of the Bulldogs for the year coming.
I like Jack as well. He's a good young talent. He's got the shock of blonde hair, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got bleach blonde
You'll
hair.
see him
Not bleach,
coming.
but-
He looks like a beachy.
I like
Redman?
Kade Reid at the Dragons, halfback.
Half, yeah.
Been a schoolboy star a few years ago. And look, the Dragons have publicly spoken about the need to find a gun playmaker. They've obviously signed Daniel Atkinson. We'll see how he goes. But their CEO, Tim Watford, last year said we're in the market for a half, a playmaking general. Kade Reid's, and also he's a good, really good schoolboy footballer, as I said, and they got high hopes for him. So I'm looking forward to see how he goes this week, Kade Reid.
I like one in the Red V as well, and his name's Charles Hyde. He's a young, very promising centre. Come through the SG Ball system now. He's a really good story, Charles, because he suffers a severe concussion that left him out of the game for an extended period, and came back last season from that concussion and really kicked some goals. I understand his pre-season has been enormous.
Okay.
in the opposed, he would mark up against the likes of Valentine Holmes and Moses Sully.
Moses Sully.
Sorry, Moses Sully.
Yeah.
And he held his gloves up, absolutely held his gloves up. So keep an eye on him. Charles Hyde, he could be one that jumps out of the blocks for the Dragons.
I think as well that Newcastle game,
Yes,
Sanders Smith,
Yes.
Sanders Smith especially, that halfback role, we still don't know what's happening with Newcastle's halves.
Yeah.
Dylan Brown's definitely locked into a spot. Looks like Fletcher Sharp will keep that 5'8" spot, but Sanders Smith could be a real massive buy for the Knights and someone that slid under the radar. If he can have a good trial, he could sneak his way
I
into
wouldn't
that.
rule out Fletcher Sharp playing 7 actually.
Over Dylan Brown.
Over Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown at 6.
Nah,
Not
I would
over
say
Dylan
Fletcher
Brown.
Sharp's a better running.
Yeah,
threat
I don't
than
see
Dylan
that.
I'm just
up
saying
there.
Fletcher Sharp played a lot of halfback in his junior years, so I wouldn't rule that out.
And use
I'm
Sandon
just saying.
Smith as a backup 9.
Sandon Smith's your 14.
Yeah, well.
But it's interesting that is really interesting, that trial.
Footy's back.